We're back, ladies and gentlemen. This time will be for this time will be for the build video on the stainless 24. So I've been collecting parts for like 2 months for this one. So we're going to take a quick look at the parts and then get right into it. Here we have the stainless 24 chassis from John Firman. It comes as a solid plate with everything laser cut out. These are your chassis rails, your roof line, and then these are all links. Come with various different link options, so you can get a little bit shorter, a little bit longer wheelbase. He even offers a plus 10 millimeter four-wheel steer option. And anyway, all right, onto the parts. Let's see, we got an SDRC RS100. We got radio link receiver. We got Mias isokinetic mullet setup. We've got 3Flow 9 roller steering link. We've got Furatech micro Komodo, mini Komodo, excuse me, stellar transmission, and micro Python. Oh, I forgot for a second. Then we also have the Furatech Digiboard, the micro Tesla. So moving on, we have, these are the 3D printed parts for the stainless 24 chassis from John Firman. You got your carrier bearing set up right there, your skid, roof, different pieces, your sliders, all that. We have 40 millimeter Endura big bore shocks. We have Crawl Queen RC tungsten tiaras. We have Mias comp propin tires, or whatever they're called, Mias pin tires. We have Venge RC wheels with the rhythm pattern wheels. Wheel hexes, wheel weights for the rear axle, and then just hardware. Alright, so that is everything except for drive shafts. I still gotta order drive shafts, but kind of tired on waiting, so we'll get those ordered in a week or so, and then she'll be rolling. Alright, let's get right into it. I'm gonna kind of flow similar to we did on the Carbon Menace, just doing kind of one bit at a time, and just kind of coming back with you know, updates as kind of each part gets done. Starting to look like something. About to grease up the transmission and toss in the trans and motor. This is my first time having a stellar transmission and a mini Komodo. I've had the micro Komodo. It's pretty cool. This is the version 2. I don't know what makes it different, but super solid feeling. Like, I really like the feeling of it. Everything feels beefy. So toss. Alright, got a little bit of something going on here. The bearings put in there. That sits right there. Right now I'm working on putting the links together. roof lines. So this will sit on here kind of like that. Pretty cool. This is the tedious part, just putting in all these little pivot balls. But we're making progress. I had forgot to put the sliders on, or rather didn't realize that the sliders are the same screws that hold the skid. Also, 2 screws that hold in the transmission, and there's usually a third one, but the third hole does not line up. So if you want to run the third screw, you got to take a really tiny drill bit and kind of put that in by hand. And there you go. Alright, so I think I got it to a certain point here. I think we are ready to go and start assembling some axles, greasing them up, and then seeing how all this mounts up. Alright, I think we're ready to open these up, throw some grease in. These are the version 2, so they have the round diff. It is a new morning. Let's keep going. Alright, like I said, we're gonna open these guys up, throw a little bit of grease in there just to make sure everything's nice and lubricated. This is our grease of choice, Lucas Red and Tacky. Another option would be Lucas Heavy Duty Green, but I'm going to go with Red and Tacky. Red and Tacky is also what I put on the transmission gears. So, let's open her up. We have to take this rear link riser off anyway, because it comes with a new one. Alright, we got all the screws out. Take this guy off. And it looks like they do grease it a little bit. So that's good. We're also going to check the portal boxes. Let's see, these other gears came with it, but I never know, is this for the rear or for the front? Time to Google. Alright, after a quick search on Google, found out that it is an underdrive gear for the rear. And so yeah, now we know. So we'll just go ahead and slap that guy in, grease him up, put it back together, and then get to the okay, I didn't realize this when I started. To pull the worm gear out, it kind of just pulls out. But to pull this center gear out of the diff, you have to take apart the portals. So you have to take everything out of the portal boxes. So, got your axle shafts here, portal face, and well, all that. So now, you should just be able to pull that guy out. Take the other guy. Shing! Then we get our new worm gear. Boom. Just like that. Now I'm going to put some grease in there. And then reassemble the portal box. Alright, just buttoning up the rear axle here. Got our new gears in. Got our portal boxes nice and greased. What I'm doing is just rotating the drive shaft to rotate these portal gears, just to make sure all the gears get fully incorporated with the grease. Cool. We'll button this up and then move on to the... Alright, so reassembled the rear axle. putting the screws in the diff cover, realizing so we're gonna have to take the Dremel and take a little bit of material right off of there so that that can sit down and bolt up. All right, I think we got it. Instead of a Dremel, all we did was take a little hand file that a little bit down, get her to sit flush. Now I can throw the screws in, get the diff cover back on, move on to the front. Alright, this is where we're at. Got some Wawa, and we got this guy already pulled off, greased up. Pop the screws back in. I'll probably actually go ahead and mount up the servo. So for the servo, went with the NSDRC RS100, the breast cancer awareness version, of course, for the build. Take a look at the servo here. This was pretty sweet. It's a limited edition servo. They think they did this in the 10th scale as well. Super cool. Alright, so moving on to that. Get the screws back in, get that mounted. Alright, so we got the servo on. Just buttoning up the front axle now. Tell me, who are you y'all's favorite RC YouTubers? A few of mine would be Tomley, Trey, Mr. Yep, of course, Cape Crawlers. I like Kevin Talbot. He's a little bit different, a little bit out there. I like seeing him destroy stuff. He's got the money to do that, which is cool. Another cool one is Mr. Meadows. He builds like, so I'm building this like, you know, real like nice looking crawler. So he builds like really like far out looking bashers. Like his bashers are like artwork. Remember, you just want these guys snug. You don't want to torque it, snap a screw. That's what we're left with. Now we got our front axle and rear axle done. I think what I should probably do next is front links and front axle. So take a look at a few pictures, make sure I know what I'm doing, and then, oh wait, I lied. The next thing we're going to do is continue on the front axle. Got to finish up this front axle. So we're missing a steering link. So what we got? 3 float 9 rolling steering link. So we'll get this set up and then on to the next step. There we go. Looking good. Moving on. Alright, so I'm working on the front links right now, and I thought it might be a good time to let you know that I have no clue what I'm doing. Kind of just winging this. When you got funky links that look like this, that match up with a straight link like that, I'm kind of just a little lost. So I'm kind of just winging it. And okay. So yeah, I'm just hoping that I get these links in the somewhat right configuration. I guess we'll find out at the end of this if my axles are clocked crazy one way or the other. But I'm hoping that they'll kind of land where I want them to. I'm kind of just going off of some pictures that I see on the Stainless 24 Facebook page. If you want a Stainless 24 chassis, there are two ways that I know. One, 24yep.com. Two, join the Facebook page, Stainless 24 group. And then John Firman is the one you message. He'll ask you what color, plastics you want. Get your PayPal, pay, get your address, send it to you. So that's how you get one. So we shall continue fiddling with this, and hopefully next time we'll have an axle attached to this chassis. We got a front axle on. I think I have to switch to the slightly shorter lowers to clock the axle forward a little bit. Let's try it. Alright, so it was the links. I could have adjusted the uppers forward a hole, but they really weren't liking it, and I still would have been cocked back pretty far. As it stands now, I could actually take these uppers and cock them back to give me a little bit more caster. So we might get into that in the fine tuning, we'll see. But for now, this is looking very good. Cool. Okay. After much deliberation with a good buddy Sean, I got the front situated. What is this? I thought I had it messed up the first time, so I went back and I was like, oh, okay, I have the uppers to the lowers and the lowers to the uppers. Okay, I need to flip-flop those, right? I had them all going parallel like I always do. So I flip-flop them. And now we got... I think these are both supposed to be lowers, and just one longer, one shorter. And then you're supposed to run straight link on the top to... Yeah, okay, let's fix that. So good news. I think that will fix it. We just had to make the top links straight and not use two sets of lower links. How about that? So now we just got to get these upper links mounted back up to the rear link riser. Then we should be in the money. JD's and Letterman. It's looking a lot better now. Oh, articulates a lot better. I'm just opening up the shocks. This is what we got for shocks. We're doing the 40mm Injora. Big bore. Same as we did on the Carbon Menace. We're just opening it up, giving a few nice slow cycles on the shock to try to push some of that air out and let it down nice nice and slow too. Try not to have too much air bubbles. You can actually go in there with a little pick if you really want to and kind of poke out some of them air bubbles. These actually, these do have oil in them already, but I like a little bit extra. This is just kind of random, but if you're ever putting something together and like these shocks, right, they come with two different pivot balls. They come with one that looks like this, and then your smaller one just looks like that. It doesn't have that extra bit on the end. So if you're ever like go to assemble something and you don't realize, or like, well, what goes where, go back to the website that you bought it from or something like that and just look at the pictures. You know what I mean? Like just for example, I couldn't remember which pivot ball went on which end. Went back on Amazon, looked at the picture, saw that the longer pivot ball goes to the top, smaller one to the bottom. Simple. That's it. Also noteworthy, when you're doing your shocks, you want them to have a slight lean out on the lower end, right? So I put a couple spacers on the bottom to push it out a little bit further than the top. And that's basically, I mean, they just travel better. I'm not a scientist, you're just gonna have to trust me. Also, leaning forward helps as you are inclining. So as you're going up, see how the shock is now in an upright position. So if your shock was straight up and down right now, and then you start climbing, then your shock would be leaned way back, and that's when you get a lot of, you know, flipping backwards and stuff like that. So slightly leaned forward, slightly leaned outward. Got it. Rear end's done. So now we gotta get the shocks on the front end, and then we can move on to the wheels. Okay, got the front shocks mounted. They look fantastic. Angle looks great. Compression full. Nothing hits anything. Awesome. The rear. So that's our compression. That's our droop. Compression, droop. This is our side to side. A real-time experiment. Going as fast as I can. Took this brace out. Full compression. Full droop. Alright, let's pop out our tires. Look, more stickers. Oh, more stickers. To do this procedure, we will be using the 1.8 jig from Crawl Queen RC. Got them all done. 2, 3, 4. Now for the wheels. Wheels by Venge. Alright, so we got our foam inside of our tire. Squish, squish. With the Venge wheels, you do have to buy your own hardware. Sorry. This is a very tedious part, but this is what we're looking at. This part's going to sound a little bit weird. So there's a little bit of overlap between, see a little bit of overlap where the tire is. Okay, so to get these screws in easier, you can like pull this back and like screw it in, but then it kind of starts making your tire look a little uneven. But to get these screws in easier, get a pick like this, lick it, and then shove it through this hole, through the rubber, into the hole of the barrel, and that'll make the screw slide in easier and not grab a hold of the rubber and twist it into a big rubber cinnamon roll. It's like 2 in the morning. So let's keep going. Here's something to think about. Why is the word abbreviated so long? I'm so exhausted. It's 3 a.m. I need energy. So we're busting out the chocolate pie. Oh, that backfired. Sugar crash. Oh, it's another new day. We gotta get back to work. But first, I'm gonna shove a few croissants in my face and clean myself up so I don't look homeless. There we go. We're done. All 4 wheels. We got tires mounted, wheels mounted, hubs mounted. All 4 came out a little wonky, but that's all right. Just a little wonky, but I used the longer hub, so more poke. All right, I think we can go ahead and pop on some weights. These are from Crawl Queen RC. And these are just press fit right over there. So go ahead. Oh, it fell off. Axle shaft on Mia Sportal is bigger than a straight axle. Now on to electronics. This is what we got so far. This part usually takes me forever because I try to make everything as neat and tidy as possible. So we're thinking battery on this side, rest of it on. Alright, so this is where we are at. Got everything looking pretty good so far. I don't have the drag link hooked up yet. we are about to power it up, bind the transmitter to the receiver, and which will turn on the servo, get that centered. Then we can do the servo horn, and then the drag link, and then it's pretty much, apart from drive shafts, pretty much done. And you know, some fine tuning, tweaking and whatnot. Got the Velcro on the side for a battery. Battery plug is right there. Got our ESC receiver. I don't know where I can fit the micro Tesla. I don't know if I'm gonna be able to do it. I mean, I'm sure I could, but I also wanted to look clean. Looking pretty sweet. Is above view. Yep, so we just need drive shafts. I think the front's going to be deadbolt, center I think is like a cut deadbolt, and rear is like a C10 or something like that. We'll figure it out. Cool. I actually did manage to get the electronics pretty neat and tidy. Got this wire kind of rolled up. I'm going to do a little more management on that side. But yeah, it's looking pretty good. Alright, we got it bound up. Servo's going. Forward. Reverse. Super cool. So yeah, we just need drive shafts, hook up our drag link and servo horn. Ready for the first drive. I think all in all that will wrap up this video. I don't have the drive shafts ordered yet, so I'll get those ordered, get everything hooked up, and then in a future video we'll come back, see how she drives. But this was a fun build. Was a different kind of build, you know. It was a good challenge. And I think overall it looks super sick. So yeah, this is the stainless 24 from John Firman, and super cool. Until next time, thanks for watching.